will talk about the formation of the future tense of deponent verbs. In addition, I will give you one fact which you will need to know for the mini quiz. Let's start. Okay. Well, just as first and second conjugation verbs that were non-deponent used a be in the future, so also first and second conjugation verbs that are deponent use a be in the future tense. They use a be to form their future stem. How do we form that? It's really easy and very similar to what we did with non-deponent verbs. Here's a typical deponent verb. Minor, minari, minatus sum. Take the infinitive minari and remove the ri and you get mina. And then you just add the be and you get mina. And that is your future stem. For a second conjugation word like polikior, polikeri, poliketus sum, again, you remove the re from the infinitive, one with polike, and then you add a be, polike, and that is your future stem. But what endings do you use? It's the same story as before. The future of first and second conjugation deponent verbs use endings on the future stem that are the same as the endings we learned for third conjugation deponent verbs. Here is a typical third conjugation deponent verb. Loquor, loquoris, loquitur, loquimur, loquimini, loquuntur. If we remove the endings from this verb here, we wind up with or, eris, itur, imur, imini, untur. And those are the very endings that we're going to use on the stems we just formed. So what do we wind up with? Here is how minor works. Remember our stem was minab, so we wind up minabur, minabiris, minabitur, minabimur, minabimini, minabuntur. And how does polikior go? Same way. The stem was polike, so we get polikebor, polikeberis, polikebetur, polikebimur, polikebimini, polikebuntur. Now, so, as with non-deponent verbs, the first and second conjugations of deponent verbs use a be to form the future tense. Excuse me. The other three conjugations, the third conjugation, the third IO conjugation, and the fourth conjugation, do not use be to form the future stem. Well, how then do we form the future of deponent verbs? It's very, very similar to forming the future of non-deponent verbs in these conjugations. Take the deponent verb loquor, remove the OR from the first principal part, and you go with loq. Here's a third IO conjugation verb. Again, we remove the OR from the first principal part, progredior. We go with progredi. And here's mentior, a fourth conjugation deponent verb. Again, we remove the OR and we want with menti. That will be our stem. Now, what do we add to that stem? Here are the endings we add. Ar, eris, etur, amur, amini, entur. Now, you may recognize these as the present tense endings of the second conjugation deponent verbs. A verb like polikeor, okay? Except for one thing, this R is something new. Essentially, we've got A in the first principal part, or A in the first person singular, and a long E in all the other forms. This long E can be long E here because the T is no longer final. The rule is that you cannot have long vowels before final M, T, and R. This T is no longer final, so that E can be long. However, the rule about NT is that all vowels before NT are short, so that has to be a short E. So that E shortens. It would like to be long, but it can't be. These are the endings that we add. Okay? Here's a fun fact to learn for the mini quiz, and the only fact in this presentation. To form the future of third IO, and fourth conjugation verbs, remove the or from the first principal part and add the appropriate endings. So what do we wind up with? If we add those endings for loquor, we're going to loquor, loqueris, loquetur, loquemur, loquemini, loquentur. For progredior, we wind up with progrediar, progredieris, progrediator, progrediemur, progrediemini, progredientur. And finally, for mentior, we wind up with mentiar, mentieris, mentietur, mentiemur, mentiemini, mentientur. The end. Thank you very much.
The end. This has been a Barking Blue Heeler production.